one of our favorites, the pitmaster, the All-America from Florida, Mr. Shannon Snell. Shannon, how you doing, bud?
Joe, what's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
We're doing great. Always great to catch up with you. We always say it like, man, we need to have you on more often, but you kind of lit a wick for Gator fans just as far as what's going on down in Gainesville. You played in that uniform to a high level. Let's at least start with the basic. What are you feeling as a former player with what's going on under Billy Napier and where they are at right now?
You know, Joe, it's funny because you want to, you know, as a player, and I've gone through it myself where there was a coaching change where, you know, I went from Steve Spurrier to Ron Zook, so I know exactly what it feels like to try to be able to come under a new coach and to try to, you know, win football games and try to, you know, live under the, you know, basically the shadow of what Steve Spurrier was. So that's tough enough for a coach. It was tough enough for Ron Zook, but it's tough on the players as well. So you want to kind of give them a little bit of grace. You know it's going to be more than a year, even though they came out of the gate swinging. So there's that. But then, you know, now here we are, year 4, and everybody can see that the same problems that existed in year 1, and year 2, and year 3 are still existing in the first 3 games of the season. And it's just, you know, as a former player, I still want to extend that grace, but at some point in time, you got to ask yourself, is this the normal, or is this because of, you know, we haven't been able to effectively have this program run correctly? I'm now starting to err on that side just because, you know, there's a sample size out there with in-state rivals with Miami and Florida State that have done well, and they basically passed us up.
All right, so let's go down to the nitty-gritty of why we got you on. We're speaking with Shannon Snell, the pit boss, the Sonny's pit master, one of the great folks from all the great folks over there at Sonny's.
He's competed with Bobby Flay. This guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he knows exactly what he's doing, okay? Nick Delatorre, who covers the Gators, tweeted out something that said, Napier said it's important to everyone to understand that DJ Lagway is a young player. He works harder than anyone, blah, blah, blah. To which Shannon responds, tell him the truth. Half the players don't like him because they think he gets special treatment versus the rest of the squad. And that's not just a rumor. Shannon, that's not good.
That's bold, right?
Yeah,
it's just juicy.
So clearly you've heard something. That's not good. If half that locker room is upset at the way he's treated, that's going to splinter that thing, and it's not. That's not something you can come back from, right?
Well, Matt, I mean, here's the bad part about this, and it's maybe not even DJ's fault, is that we were all quick to crown him king so quickly. Right? He was the next coming, and you know, I think we've been searching for a quarterback since Tebow has left, right? I don't think we've had any solidified person there that's been called a quote-unquote a superstar. And, you know, we crowned DJ too quickly. We know what he did in high school and, you know, in a really kind of pro-style program. But what has happened is that maybe some people have been believing their own hype too much. And, you know, when you get paid all this money, and when you're driving around in a Ferrari, matter of fact, you're making more than a lot of the assistant coaches. You have to live up to a reputation, and if you don't, there will be people, not only people on the outside of the program, but within the inside of the program that will look at you and say, "Well, what's going on? Why isn't this happening?" Or "I'm playing well, and why isn't this me?" And that's just a natural occurrence of who we are as people. And this was bound to go down with the NIL, that somebody was going to come in and make a lot more money, and things were going to happen. And there was going to be a level of dissension. Because when you go into a game as the lead of that team and you throw 5 interceptions, but yet you run a Jordan commercial a few months earlier, and you're the face of, you know, whatever other brand that you want to throw out there, there's going to be some questions that are raised, and there's going to be some people that be like, well, what the hell is this?
He's the face of turnovers now is what he is.
I mean, at a certain point in time, this was going to be a thing. You know, I talked about this, you know, a couple of years ago that, you know, with this NIL thing, and I don't hate against it. And I think a lot of people need to understand that these guys need to make money, because that was definitely something that should have happened a long time ago. They bring in a lot of visibility to the program, not only just, you know, football. We're talking basketball and, you know, certain other sports, volleyball, just depending on the school. But we're also talking about the fact that with all this power comes greater responsibility. And they have to understand that they are no longer, you know, a student athlete, but they're more of a they're more of a freelance worker, if you will, because they're making this kind of money. I understand scholarships are 1 year renewable and all that good stuff, but you have basically become a contracted employee that's there for 1 year. And we've seen the turnover in the portal and everything that's happened. Who's the highest payer? I just think that what's going on at the University of Florida right now is that there's a lot of dissension in the program, and last Saturday night didn't do it any favors.
Now, Shannon, I don't even think we get to this point if they ride the coattails of what the strength of the offense should be. Now, both of us have played the offensive line position at a very elite level, okay?
Right.
So we understand that the heartbeat of any offense is the offensive line. You got a top 5 offensive line in the country preseason. Why aren't you riding their coattails and winning these games? The hell with Lagway and what he's capable of doing or incapable of doing. If you ride the coattails of your offensive line, you win more games than you lose, especially against South Florida.
Well, I mean, Leon, that kind of goes back to what you just said. I don't get the game plan. This is part of my biggest frustration is that you have a guy that's you're crowning king. You're thinking he's going to be the next great thing, and that's awesome, right? But, you know, if you're the coach, you're coaching for basically your life. I would ride with what I know, the devil that I know versus the devil that I don't know, meaning I know my offensive line's good. I know I have a guy back there that's a bona fide stud in Jaden Ball, but yet you call a game plan that has that counteracts that. You have him drop back 49 times in a football game, and, you know, I'm stating the very obvious and stating this as a fan, as a former player. At some point in time, I would have been questioning, especially in a close game. I could see, Leon, if this game was a blowout, if this game was out of hand going into the third or fourth quarter and you need to chuck the ball around a little bit, great. But the part that I've never understood, and this is like another year of this. This isn't just like, hey, this just happened this year and we're just jumping on the bad bandwagon and coming at people different ways. No, this has been going on for 2 and 3 and since year one, to where we think we're smarter than everybody else, and then we get cute, and then it kills drives. And then we do stupid things, and we don't use our playmakers. Like Trevor Etienne, who went to Georgia, guess why? Because he wasn't being used as a playmaker, right? The same thing will happen, and if we decide to keep Billy, it could happen. Who knows if he runs off some wins? But you think Jaden Ball wants to stay around and get 10 carries a game? I think that's the biggest BS that you're going to ever hear, because he won't.
Yeah, and that honestly, those are strong words that need to be said. We're talking with Shannon Snell. He is part of Sonny's, a pitmaster at the Big Boss SS on X, and you can definitely find him. The thing that, like, I'm looking at it, when you're saying it, 100%, a close ball game when you don't run the football, when two of your perceived strengths are your offensive line and your running back room, and you don't take advantage of it. Shannon, DJ threw the ball 25 times in the second half of this ball game. It's nuts what Billy Napier is doing right now.
I agree, Joe. Like Jaden Ball had 7 total rushes going into the fourth quarter. I said what I said because of the very fact is that if anybody was calling the game plan, even Billy himself would have to know that when you put the ball in somebody's hands that's hot, you're going to ride that. And this goes back to maybe not things that were promised to your starting quarterback or your star quarterback, but maybe to try to showcase them, because this is supposed to be a big year for him. I know he can't come out in the draft this year, but, to maybe showcase him to be the cover athlete or the guy that's supposed to be the star player on the team. I think that creates some dissension, and I'm sure you guys agree the same way. And Leon, you and I played the line, right? If it's not working, then stop running it, right? I criticized a couple years and years ago, back in 2002, we ran a trick play in the Outback Bowl against Michigan, and it was the dumbest thing I've ever seen because it didn't need to be called at the time. Rex Grossman was picking people apart, but we ran a trick play because we thought it was cool to run it at that time. They picked the ball up and ended up winning the game. Hindsight's 20/20 because if it works, it works. But at this point in time, we've had a sample size of 4 years of some of the same stuff, and it's not working. It's not working. You can say that as a fan. You can say that as a person in the corner of Billy Napier. You can say that as somebody that hates on him. It's just not working because we have sample sizes of everybody else that's being successful, and we're not at that level. We're not even close to that level.
See, but I will say this, Shannon, is I think they're very close everywhere other than where it matters most. And I'm not sure that's DJ's fault, because if Billy Napier is correct in what he's saying, that he's basically only practiced 4 weeks since January, it's going to take some time for him to get up to speed. I think he's got the rest of the team where it needs to be. Shannon, they're really good on defense. Really good.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
I just think that the idea that you can't fire Billy Napier because you're going to lose DJ Lagway, so what? Here's another thing. They were warming up in that game. I told our QB guru, Denny Thompson, this, and he kind of laughed and smiled and said, yeah, as far as a throw. They're warming up, and I'm telling you right now, Tramel Jones is a better thrower than DJ Lagway. He may not be the same quarterback. They may be different players. But you have to look at yourself and say one guy cannot hold your program hostage. If he wants to leave because the coach gets fired, then let him go. Let him go. You've got other guys you've recruited. You've got other guys you can get from the portal. If all of a sudden something crazy happens and Dabo Swinney says, I'm out of Clemson, go get him.
You know, Matt, the fight that is going to always be, and this is the hill I will stand and die on, is that if he wants to keep DJ in there, we're talking X's and O's, right? If he wants to keep DJ in there because he feels like he feels like he's obligated because when DJ came here, he promised stuff. I mean, coaches do that all the time. Recruiters do that all the time. You know, it's fine. That's okay. But just formulate the game plan to where you're successful. If DJ gives you if you say, hey, DJ Lagway gives me the best chance to win a football game, awesome, right? But I don't think you can drop him back. A rusty DJ Lagway is what we're calling him, and he's only threw the ball 4 weeks.
Right.
This goes on coaching. Is that if you say I'm going to drop him back 50 times and just take a chance against a good LSU defense, then you are not the coach that we thought you were. You're exactly what we didn't think you were, and we were hoping you weren't. But you're the same coach that you proved that you were for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
Now, Shannon, with all that being said, and I feel for you, sympathetic for all your troubles. We're still coming off the ring ropes with the people elbow on y'all Saturday night. Okay, just as long as you understand that.
I want to kick their ass.
All right, all this remorse and all this mourning of Florida, we're still coming off the ring ropes with the people's elbow.
Let me tell you something. All right, you guys still got Carson Beck, and I know what he's done this season so far. He's got a new lease on life. But Carson Beck just came from Georgia last year, and if you take a look at Carson Beck last year when he played a really good defense. When he played a really, really good defense, he's not the same Carson Beck. So what's
his record against Florida?
Yeah, I hope for your sake
what's his record?
Y'all walk out of there with the win because I'm calling in. I'm calling in on Monday.
You're avoiding the answer. What's his record against Florida?
Doesn't matter. Okay.
All right, listen.
Doesn't matter right now.
Shane, it doesn't matter because Leon's orange and blue to the death. He's already told us that.
All right, wait, we got to run, but listen, we miss you, bro, and I'll just say hot links, okay? I just missed the Pitmaster.
Yeah,
all right?
No kidding, man.
Be good, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
Love you, bro.
All right.
Hey, Joe C. here. Thanks so much for watching the Gators 1010XL YouTube channel. Don't forget, like and subscribe the Gators YouTube channel and all the team channels that we have on 1010XL. We're here for you, so make sure you like and subscribe our 1010XL YouTube channels.